in the heart of Iowa's fertile plains, a town was born with the rise of steam trains. For 100 years with fire and might, they powered this town, both day and night. And while those days may be long gone, the town of Boone still carries on, its founding spirit still intact, and its love for horsepower still on track.
The fascinating thing about Boone is it was, at the time of the turn of the century, it had 12,000 people. It has 12,600 people today. It was a railroad town then. The Chicago Northwestern Railroad ended up coming into town, and so it was kind of a rich town for its day. It had an opera house and it had 2 movie theaters. And County Fairgrounds had its own race area. And so they started with motorcycles, they got into cars. 1908, though, there was a round the world car race, which is incredible. This race involved, I think it was like 8 cars. 2 of them that have been recorded as coming through Boone, Thomas Flyer and one from Italy called La Zeus. A couple of them broke down, and they're stored in barns overnight, until they could get repaired. A lot of these guys were really handy. They came with their own mechanics. The Thomas Flyer ended up winning this thing, and it was unbelievable. It's all recorded, and it's fascinating. In 1955, the Fort Dodge line was bought by a scrap dealer because it wasn't doing really well. He started ripping up the rails and selling the rails as scrap. Every time he saw that there wasn't going to be business or grain elevators to ship to, he'd remove the rail. And it got to be the last 12 miles, and 2,254 people in Boone decided that they'd had enough and they were going to raise money to save this line. And so they raised $50,000 and bought this line, which included 2 bridges, the Bass Point Creek Bridge, which was built in 1912, and the Des Moines River Bridge. And so that's how this all started. We've been an excursion railroad ever since. We're the only one in Iowa to run steam, diesel, and electric.
With a full fleet of vintage locomotives, the Boone and Scenic Valley Railway is where you'll find the most horsepower in Boone. Well, on most days.
What was your kind of first impression of the IMCA Supernationals?
Well, I didn't know what all the noise is about because I'd never, we lived in a small town before here, so I didn't know. It sounded like we were in Indianapolis.
In most towns, the constant roar of engines would yield constant complaints. But Boone isn't most towns.
The first time I got here, it blew my mind because we have curfews of how early it had to be done, and then this track's right in the middle of town, and so it's unreal. The whole town is interested in it, and this whole place especially during this week, they're everyone is so happy to see you and pumped about racing and stuff.
Just about a year ago, there was an article written, and the region took in $61 million from IMCA, and $16.8 million directly tied to Boone, which is unbelievable. And it also said in the article, it generated more income than the whole entire year of the Iowa State football. So I was really, really impressed.
The town of Boone might not be a notorious vacation destination, but for Supernationals attendees, its beautiful scenery and friendly culture make it the perfect home away from home.
Boone's a real pretty little town. You drive around it and you just see, we don't have grass like they have up here, or trees. We're out in West Texas, and everything's green up here, and it's just a beautiful place.
Everything's so open around here. I think it'd be cool to come out here and live.
It's just got a really good atmosphere. It's got a small town feel, but it's large enough where there's things to do. There's restaurants here. You can walk into town.
I feel like my heart is Australian and will always be Australian, but Iowa will always be my special place. They say Iowa nice. That's absolutely true. Some of my lifelong friends live in this state.
There's a lot of good families here, especially in racing, but I think their biggest, brightest feature is the racetrack here, and it brings in a lot of people, a lot of money into the town, and it's a good little town to be in.
Boone, Iowa is always going to be on the map for Supernationals, I think. I don't think they'll ever move this event to another track. I don't think I don't think a place could accommodate this.
You don't ever, at any other racetrack in the world, do you step off the flag stand to go to the infield and get worried you're going to hit by 7 John Deeres and 2 full-size school buses. Like, the farming is just next level, but they rejuvenate and refresh and recreate and reset after 10 heats of modifieds, and then you go back out and you're like, it's 5 wide again, and you go, how can you be consistently 5 wide?
I don't know how the track guys do it. It's a grind for sure. You know, they're up early in the morning getting stuff ready because we race so early, and then we race for 12 hours, and we're done at 2 o'clock, and he's got the grader and the water truck out there going till 4 a.m. and then back up again at, 8 o'clock. There was one day we had, 1 or 2 days we've had cloud cover, and it's helped a ton. I mean, even for the days that we had sun, the racing's pretty good. These guys get up on the wheel and go.
There's no shortage of talent at Boone, but with nearly 200 entries, the Northern Sport Mods are as competitive as ever.
It's a lot of work to, be on your game and the top of your game here. I mean, the goal is obviously to qualify in on the first day. It's hard to do it though. I mean, it's almost 200 cars in our class, and you got to be in the top 8.
Got to get to the front in your heat races, and just got to stay patient, keep your nose clean, not drive over your head, and it's really easy to do at this place because everyone wants to go. So be patient, get clean air, and get the car good. You got to have a good car.
As it's quickly becoming one of the most popular divisions at Boone, the Northern Sport Mods offer a budget-friendly entry into the world of modified racing.
The rules package is great for the Sport Mod. It's very cost-effective. They're not getting too wild with the technology yet, like some of the classes, which is actually, I think, hurting racing. The A mods are pretty much on the 604 crate now, and most Sport Mods are the 602 crate, which is usually like 50 horse less. But I mean, most nights we're pretty close to the same speed.
Sport Mods, we have a lot more even rules, I think. We get a little less suspension in the rear, less shocks, Essentially, I've driven both now, and they both drive fairly similar, just the mods you can drive in a lot harder than the Sport Mods, from what I feel.
With limited opportunities to gain a mechanical advantage, more emphasis is placed on drivers' skill and technique.
I use the rear brakes to set the car, and that'll just kind of lock the wheels up and put it into a skid, basically, just for a little bit, and then it gets your car turned for you.
Tracks like this, we run all rear brakes, so you can get the rear end kind of slide around coming in the corners, and then also you can trail brake, which helps keep the car up on the bars and keep traction in the car and exit. So you gotta throw it in and wait on the car, and once it rotates, run the gas and brake together on exit to try to keep the tires underneath you, and once you get to straightaway, then it'll really pick up.
Usually on exit you can gas it up pretty quickly, but when it gets dirty or whenever it starts slicking off, then you have to be pretty careful.
You gotta be on the pedals hard here, and it's a big drag strip, so you gotta keep it trailed up and keep it going.
Not only do drivers have to keep up with all the demands that come from inside the cockpit, they also have to deal with the added pressure that comes from competing in a marquee event seen by tens of thousands of fans around the world.
I try not to think about all the people that are watching, because it just puts more pressure on yourself. I just try to treat it like another race, which, I don't know, I think that's just because I'm getting older in the deal and been here so many times, but definitely you look at your phone at the end of the night and something cool happened or you won, and there's so many people that reach out to you.
We spend a couple weeks getting prepared for Supernationals, and I think you just need to have your head screwed on right and be a smart driver, have your car as perfect as you can get it, and it takes a lot of luck too.
Getting ready to go green here at the 41st Annual Speedway Motors IMCA Supernationals, fueled by Casey's. 169 Sport Mods signed in here on this Labor Day at Iowa's Action Track. We'll run 10 of the 20 heats in this first session. The top 3 will make the first of 2 qualifying A-mains here tonight.
Our goal is first to get in the show, because you can't win the show if you're not in the show. So hopefully tonight we can do that. It's really tough. These guys are good. It's going to take a perfect car, and you got to be on top of your game and run a perfect race to get into this one.
Down the back straightaway, Matthew Loeb to full straightaway almost is his advantage. He'll lead him in off of turn number 4 to the win.
Checkered flag is coming down the front straightaway. There it is. Taylor Cool to the win. Jake Sacco with a straightaway advantage.
Off of 4 checkers fly, Jake Sacco is the winner.
You won that by over 8 seconds, mate. Yeah, PI 55 or something? What's the go?
This car is badass right now, man. That's all there is to it.
It's a rocket ship.
It is very good.
And I know another one that impressed me, and he's been good, but he hasn't been racing his car a lot recently, is Jake Sacco.
Yeah.
He looked very good for only racing the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's only been out like 3 weeks.
He's been a stock car all year.
He's
like
like
in
Prelude
contention.
last year. Didn't he want to qualify?
Yeah, but he hasn't run a sport mod all year.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't run a sport mod.
Jake's a good racer.
Well, he has.
Jake's a good racer.
Just a little bit.
Oh man, racing's my life. So like, I know I spend too much time and money on it probably, but it's what I want to do, and you got to do what you want to do.
And now it is Race of Champions time.
Yes. Here we go. Rolling from the pole will be Skylar Woods out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, the 32X, and Joseph Cooper.
In row number 4, that is Jake Sacco from Manning in the 14.
Carl Chevrolet Pace Truck drops off the backside of turn number 3. Green's out. Here we go.
Sacco has been a man on a mission all week long. He'll drop to the inside of Cooper. Slides up, takes away that 3rd spot off of turn number 4. Another slider from Bannister. Look out. Here comes Galloway. Here comes Sacco. He'll join him on the low side down into turns 3 and 4. Now it's a slider from the 14. Look at the battle for the race lead. 3 deep off the 4 with 2 laps to go.
Sacco around the outside. Bannister down to the inside. The white's going to come out this time. They'll work that into turn number 3 and 4. It's going to be Sacco. Bannister's going to slide it on up. They come together. Bannister's around. The battle's now a 2-car race for the lead. Galloway locks on into the number 1 spot. Off of 2, you're going to watch Sacco. Sacco with a run to the outside.
Wheel to wheel off of that 4th turn. Sacco up top is your Race of Champions winner. Holy mackerel. It is Jake Sacco.
You know, it's cool to win a race, but it's even cooler to win a great race.
Man, that was wild. I haven't been that worked up in a long time, but I told the guys I wasn't here to run second. We're going to win them all, try to win them all. So I knew it was coming. I wasn't lifting. I didn't care. So tore the left side up there, but whatever. Hopefully we can put this thing out front Saturday night.
Got you, mate. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
He's on fire, this man, the Sockmeister. Doing a heck of a job. Boy, that race was worth the price of admission, boys.
You know, I think it would be hard for anybody to not conclude that Sacco is probably the car to beat right now.
Yeah, he's won everything too.
He was fast. You know, obviously in that ROC, passing on the last lap.
I've come here every year since 2005, all week. I missed it 1 year. I went to work. I missed this place, but it's what I want to win. I can't quit racing until I win this deal. I thought I had a pretty decent shot at last year, and it broke, and hopefully we get one knocked off. So.
Here we go. It's time to go dancing for your Friesen Performance IMCA Northern Sport Mods. And let's take a look at your starting grid. On the pole out of Bakersfield, California, the 151 of Tyler Bannister, Jake Sacco from Manning in the 14, and Alec Fett from Bird, Iowa, the 08. Green's out, here we go. 30 cars, 30 laps. Working into turn number 1 and 2, it's going to be Bannister, your race leader. Now Jake Sacco overdrove it that time to the top of turn number 1, Ryan, and that let Bannister get away from him.
0.457, that is the difference between 1st and 2nd. That was Bannister's lead the last time ahead of Sacco. 0.428 right now, so Sacco keeping pace.
Look at this, Jake Sacco's got to run for the lead. Here we go. Sacco is found at the track. It's come to him. Boom, bang, got him. It'll be Sacco to the lead. Looks like he was just toying with him.
Has been dominant since the prelude last Saturday night. He is going to have a bookend victory and cap off his first Supernationals champion. It is Jake Sacco, your Sport Mod champion.
This is a dream come true. To all you kids out there that ever want to do this someday, hard work will pay off. I promise that. Keep at it. You'll get there someday.